Okay, so this is the last Raw of the year. To make things kind of different, beyond having a New Year's Eve party, where Mae Young gave birth to the New Year's baby, and of course it was Hornswoggle, because when in doubt, it's Hornswoggle. So I'm pretty sure if Rikishi didn't run down Stone Cold Steve Austin and do it for The Rock, it probably would have been Hornswoggle. So what Vicky decided to do was allow the champions to choose who they wanted to fight. So Antonio Cesaro picks Sergeant Slaughter. And they have a match about as good as you can have with Sergeant Slaughter. And of course, Cesaro wins. Eve chooses Mae Young. Mae Young, who was in the back and couldn't make it down to ringside. But I'll be honest, if Mae Young could have, I would have loved to have seen Mae Young whoop the daylights out of Eve. So their match really didn't go anywhere. Team Hell No decided to challenge the three-man band. And they pretty much dominated the whole match. Very much like they should. Who did CM Punk challenge? Nobody, because he's still injured. He did come into the ring with Paul Heyman, as well as a doctor, to say that he's still not medically cleared to wrestle. And that he might not be medically cleared for next week's Raw, when it's a TLC match against Ryback. To which point, Vince McMahon came down and Ross kind of went, well, you know, if you're not cleared to wrestle, Paul Heyman takes your place. My thought was that would mean it would be Paul Heyman versus Ryback in a TLC match, which would be insane. But instead they have a regular match. So that's going to be their way to not have CM Punk fight Ryback going into the Royal Rumble. Instead, Ryback will destroy Paul Heyman, therefore leaving CM Punk by himself when it comes to the promos against The Rock, which could be really substantial and very entertaining. The Big Show picked Ricardo Rodriguez, who of course he destroyed. And then Del Rio kind of made the save. So this week Del Rio was face, because he was face for a while. Then he ran over Santa. I guess now he's face again. Or maybe, like most people, we'll just think last week it didn't happen at all. So now we're down to who did Kofi challenge? Kofi challenged Wade Barrett. And the Barrett Barrage is again IC champion. Ironically, the last time Wade Barrett was IC champion, he defeated Kofi Kingston. So those two guys have kind of feuded for the title twice over 2 years. So it's hard to tell if they're both kind of stagnant where they are, or if it was just time to have those two guys face again for the title. Good match, solid match. So now we're down to the non-title matches. To open the night up, Miz did Miz TV with John Cena. Team Rhodes Scholars came down. Cena had a really intimate look at Cody Rhodes' mustache, which then those four guys had in a tag match. Yeah, they're really pushing, face Miz really hard. And of course, in this match, he was the one that got daylights beaten out of him until John Cena came in and made the save. Good match. I think they gave him, with the opening Miz TV segment, about like 20 minutes. Which is a lot of time to give for a tag match, but it makes sense because John Cena was involved. Dolph Ziggler took on Sheamus. Nice match, good back and forth. And the Shield came in and attacked Sheamus at the very end, leading to a no contest. Okay. Later on that night, Ryback takes on the Shield. I'm thinking, this could be a really good match. And then Sheamus comes down. Shield still has the numbers, is able to work Ryback and Sheamus. And then the returning Randy Orton makes his way down to the ring. So Orton, Ryback, and Sheamus are actually able to fend off the Shield and get them to leave the ring. Okay, not bad. Not bad. It's a decent setup. And then for the main event is kind of the New Year's Eve celebration with AJ, Dolph, and Big E Langston. Dolph goes on at length about pretty much his career and whatnot. and how he's always been like right there and never quite made it, but next year's going to be his year. And as part of the IWC, we've been saying for quite some time that Ziggler should be a main event star, but he's just always lacked that one little thing. Cena comes out and finally does something that I've been waiting for a long time for someone to do. Bring up the fact that this is Ziggler's third gimmick in the E. First, he was Kerwin White's caddy. Don't know who Kerwin White is? Count yourself as lucky. That was the Anglo-Saxonized version of Chavo Guerrero, where Chavo came out like in a golf cart and had a caddy. His caddy was the person we would then know as we would know now as Dolph Ziggler. Then there was a Spirit Squad. Yes, the group of 5 male cheerleaders that predominantly feuded with DX, that was specifically designed to get Kenny Dykstra over, who later went nowhere, and instead it really helped get Dolph Ziggler decent screen time. So he mentioned those two characters that he had. It was decent, you know. And then to pretty much end off the show, John Cena drops a deuce. Yeah, they rained fecal matter on him. It'll be unique next week when The Rock shows up. And I guess in 2 weeks we have the 20th anniversary of Raw. So I expect something big to happen on the 14th. So all in all, you know, they did a good job in theming certain storylines. It would have been interesting to have seen what would happen had CM Punk not been injured. But all in all, not a bad way to end the year. You know, this one did have some hits and some misses. You know, Ziggler, Sheamus, the opening tag match with Miz, Cena, and Rhodes Scholars. The match between Kingston and Barrett. Really good, solid matches. You know, having Eve come out and challenge somebody who couldn't make it to the ring. Having Antonio Cesaro beat up Sergeant Slaughter. If the payoff ends up being they're going to bring in a reinvigorated, renewed, all-American Jack Swagger, I think that would be a good push for Swagger to take on Antonio Cesaro. I'm looking forward to that for next year. So with that, last Raw of 2012, and Happy New Year.